I was
That's
borderline tearing at the end. So yes.
भाई भाई तुझे हो क्या गया था वहां पे?
नहीं ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं।
ठीक है भाई, गलतियां होती है सबसे।
नहीं गलतियां नहीं है सर।
You didn't
गलती
exactly.
क्यों
You
जाएगी?
नहीं,
didn't
मैंने
cry
आप लोग
after
आप तीनों की गलती की बात की है, मैं अपनी गलती की बात नहीं
You
कर
didn't.
रहा था।
You didn't tear up in after.
फनी गाय कॉमेडी किंग।
सारा
वो
भाई का
नहीं,
इफेक्ट है सर।
आर्यन तू मुझे पूछता है
Both of you.
क्या after sun I didn't tear up but I kind of felt a bit emotional, it's true.
I didn't
I
read,
cried
which
in-
is my problem, I guess.
यार मैं किसमें रोया हूँ?
You didn't. I was just sobbing, man. Both
Decision
of
to
them,
leave, I
both
cried
times.
2 times.
Decision to leave.
Decision
Yeah.
to
Theater
leave
was
only
my
one. Theater watch में I cried.
Yeah.
Yes.
I cried in Cello show.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I cried
Or-
full on, and I almost went into ugly crying for Banshees in one scene. I was distraught. In the
Banshees,
you used to be
Banshees,
nice scene, I was basically like, "Ho gaya kaam mera. I'm
Oh,
done."
same.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been very familiar territory in one case or the other. So I was like, nahi, ye nahi hoega.
Yeah.
I can't watch that
Right.
movie again and again.
भाई decision to leave में तुम लोग रो रहे हो?
मैं तो रो रहा था सर full.
बाप रे।
He'll be like.
मैं
Yeah.
तिरुचित्र वाला
In
में
the
भी रोया।
one this time I the fourth time I watched it, I cried it in the scene where he's holding her hand and she's trying to breathe for him, and I was like, हो गया मेरा काम इस वाले में. Though like it's like 1 second का scene, like there's not much in it, and then I was like, नहीं
वो
होगा.
रोने का कारण है, वो रोने का कारण है, वो तो नॉर्मल है।
अरे सर, जिस तरीके से करता है लोग वो डायरेक्ट उसे वो रोने का कारण है. Maybe it's the
Yeah,
filmmaking
exactly.
also.
It's more than the sweeping. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
More
there's
than the
this time
characters of the
I've been
story.
listening. You know the scene where he's driving to her, and the whole sweeping score is building up. In the middle,
We're driving to her in the middle of the night, right?
No. This is the climax, basically.
Mountain
Beach.
ending.
Okay.
The music is swelling,
Moment
and
your love.
for a second, बीच में उसके शॉट में वो एक शॉट डालता है जिसमें गाड़ी एक्सेलरेट होती है फुल स्पीड में, जो सिंक होता है
Yeah.
म्यूजिक के साथ. I lost it in that only this time. Like क्या है भाई, like कहाँ से इतना सिंक बिठा के, like it's just building
I
up to
teared
that.
up when his car arrives and you get that another God's eye shot
Yes.
from above of
Sir,
the
आप
of the
शॉर्ट्स
two
पे रो
cars.
रहे हो अब. सिनेफाइल
हाँ,
बन
मैं
गए
तो
हो.
When I had seen it, I told Sanjeet that
That's
top
the
down
dividing
shot
था ना, sea and mountain basically. It's basically.
Oh, fantastic.
ये सब डालेंगे, ये सब डालेंगे.
That Banshees में, you know what shot I was like, I paused and I was like, I took a deep sigh. So there's the shot where after she asked him, okay, that do you ever feel lonely? Okay, and he's like,
This is what,
he just
Brendan
contemplates
Gleeson?
for a bit. No. His sister.
Oh, okay.
Ask
Who did she ask?
Colin
Ask
Farrell.
Farrell's
Okay.
yeah,
Yes,
she
yes.
asked Colin Farrell that
Yeah.
do you ever feel lonely? And he's like, for a second you think that he would reply by saying something sweet or something like that, and he's like, everyone's gone fucking crazy, and then he leaves. Okay, and the shot ends with the mirror. Okay, so you are seeing her reflection in the mirror, and she's
Yeah.
looking down, and Colin Farrell is exiting. Okay.
Yeah.
After that, in the latter half of the movie, once she leaves,
Yeah.
after feeling lonely, when she leaves for her own good, okay, when she leaves the island, Colin Farrell, after that scene ends, you get the similar shot, okay, same angle, and he looks in the mirror, okay, so he's acknowledging, okay, and he just breaks the mirror.
Punches it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just punches that light का वो क्या कहते हैं light lamp. He punches the mirror, and you just stick with that shot for a
Yeah,
minute.
his identity is
And-
fractured, right, or whatever. Like he's
And
broken.
it's not just
into
that,
whatever.
but it's, I think, for people who are bringing up this criticism about the movie कि ये तो play है, like this would have made for a good
तो
play.
it's a bit...
I mean,
नहीं, because it's Martin
criticism.
McDonough. No, it's Martin
think it's
McDonough, and he's also see, this is where whatever they say in interviews gets taken out of proportion. Also, he said that he's not been super interested in the visual form, so people will latch onto that.
okay.
I think this is his best directed film also. So I mean,
Oh, definitely.
but
I need to rewatch
he
movie
has
again.
some. There's something about the way he introduces letters, yeah. In the like in
I still
in
still
Three
love how
Billboards also it has.
I still loved how he directed In Bruges, to be very honest. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Banshees.
I can
Bruce,
see.
yeah.
But Three
Banshees.
Billboards, mein, you remember? There's this. I know it's a divisive film, but like there's that whole thing about Woody Harrelson
I
ka
like it
letters
though.
being read out. That's
Oh, I
so
remember
similar
that.
in
In the
this where
police
Terry
station, yeah.
Condon's thing comes for Colin Farrell,
Oh,
and I was like,
yeah,
the way he introduces that is so like heartbreaking
yeah,
in this film also. Like isme
yeah.
to it's like, and he also lies to her for the first time, I think, where she's like,
Mm-hmm.
I won't come because Jenny is fine, and like whatever, the donkey is fine,
In
whatever.
other news, everything is
Yes,
fine.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
Anyways,
such a
the
that's such a
appreciation party leads into the
ETL और Banshees का फेस्ट अगर हो गया तो चलो.
Karo sir Sanjeet.
Okay. Hello. Welcome back to Queen is Dead, the bonus episode with which
Yes.
we cover the rest of the category. I mean, bonus, we'll release it back to back, no?
Yes.
Matlab, I'll have to edit it back to back, you mean?
I mean, I don't think so. I think it's the same thing
Yeah,
in a
yeah, I
way.
know.
You
It
have to
is
look at it.
extension only. वो
Yeah.
anchor release नहीं करने देगा. I think लंबा episode उससे ज़्यादा जितना पिछला वाला है. So
So, bonus episode where we discuss the remaining categories,
yeah,
the supposed main categories
yes.
with the Oscars, and then we discuss more of it. Let's
We can
begin with
start from
documentary.
documentary. Wow,
Okay.
Sanjeet, same page. I thought you were going to destroy the
The
suspense by big.
metaphysical.
We have been
Okay, never
told to
mind.
not use that word, but okay.
We're talking about all that breeds.
Oh
Okay,
God.
nominees:
Okay.
All That Breeds, All the Beauty and Bloodshed, Fire of Love, House Made of Splinters, Navalny.
I've
I
not
haven't
seen a
seen
house
any
made of.
except 20 minutes of 20 minutes
No
of
one's
horror.
seen it, I mean.
Okay, first. Okay.
Actually, not even 20, 17 minutes. Okay, never mind.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Of
First,
course.
I've seen All That Breeds, Navalny, or Fire of Love.
Fire
Those
of
three,
Love, yeah.
those three I've seen. I have seen 10 minutes of All That Beauty and Bloodshed. That's it.
Okay.
Or Housemaid of Splinters नहीं देखा.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, what I've been saying it from the past fucking February of last
Yeah.
year.
अरे,
Fire of
इतना
Love is
tense.
Fire of Love is the best documentary of this entire thing. I'm
Plus one, yeah.
yeah,
Definitely.
it's no question, not even
Wow, we are in agreement, guys.
not even a question.
Yeah.
Fire of
Yeah.
Love is
I'm just.
insane. It's so good.
Watch it, Sanjeet. It's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
My
that
point is
movie
only
you
like
should
how.
actually. That movie you should, if it gets released in the cinema, you should go.
And one
Okay.
dark
Yeah.
horse,
Oh,
one dark
the
horse in the
Cranes one.
and one
Okay.
dark horse in the documentary section, which I was surprised wasn't nominated at all. I think Dhruv will agree with me.
Yes.
Descendant.
That was my note.
Okay.
Where is Descendant?
What? Descendant.
Mm.
Okay.
Netflix
Descendant.
ka documentary. They are generally good. They have a good selection of documentaries sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Netflix.
I like Navalny, but I think Aryan will agree with me. I think too much hyper cinematic, too much
Mm.
hyper edited. That movie, it's too sleek for its own good. Or
For the genre itself,
yeah,
as like a documentary.
yeah.
I mean, it's
It's
like a news channel ka thingy. Like it's a new. Like, it's got
But
that same editing
it
to it.
is,
it's a
yeah.
Hollywood.
But then I
based
think you have to work around the form a little bit. Like you can't just
Hmm.
stick to that.
You know, the
I
next
think.
big Indian documentary that will be in the circles is While We Watched. Just so
This
you
is
know.
Yeah.
Sundance.
Yeah.
No,
Sundance.
this is TIFF.
Sundance,
It's
na?
a Sundance also.
No,
Hmm.
sorry, IFFR.
It was there in
नहीं,
TIFF also,
if
Toronto.
recently था उतना पता है.
Okay, okay. No,
Okay.
it's just been
Yeah.
acquired by in like some
Hmm.
for distribution in London. I mean in UK and all of that.
As for
Okay.
It's crazy.
as for us addressing the PGNs, as far as addressing the PGNs in the room, uh,
Nice.
all that
Kites
all
actually, but yes.
yeah, all that reads.
Yeah.
I love the premise. I loved what it is trying to do. I
Mm.
still think that this is going to be one of the weirdest statements I'm ever going to give. That movie looks too good to be a documentary. It's too artifice heavy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's too smooth for its own good. And honestly, the religious discord it is trying to show, I can understand it is being subtle. It should have been more subtle.
No, or take it out.
Towards
think.
its end. Towards its end.
Yeah.
No, I think it's the best aspect of the film for
Okay.
me.
Until
If
then,
you are set. Yeah, exactly.
until then, yeah. It should have
And
it should have maintained its consistency and its subtlety. Otherwise, there is no point.
the
Okay.
last 10 minutes, I think just don't work for me. They work for me to evoke a sense of response within me because of my own personal political and
Bias
ideological beliefs, but it doesn't work. It
as a film.
really contradicts the language and the mood that the documentary itself sets throughout its 90 minute of runtime, right? So,
Sanjeet fell
कैसे
down.
it's like so.
Sanjeet fell down. No, no, not laughing at you. Sanjeet almost fell down.
It's
Sorry.
like, how do I be, how
No, I mean, I
difficult
you guys
being
like
in
it
this?
more than I do. So I watched it at the
The thing is
festival and
that
I
I
didn't
was
like it.
trying to say something very out there, but I have to be subtle, right? About the
No,
ending.
No,
no,
go
bro.
ahead.
Can
We
no.
don't have right
Okay.
wing followers anyway, bro.
Yeah. If we
Not
do
because of
also,
the
we are
followers.
happy to not have them follow us. So it's fine.
No, if we have them, then it's an
I
achievement,
don't
man.
want
We've
someone else
reached
to follow me. That's
beyond
the problem.
Harshvardhan Kapoor also, so it's fine.
Wow,
He's a
wow,
right
wow, wow.
wing follower. Anyways,
No, I'm
uh,
saying we've reached beyond him in general. So
huh,
like reach wise.
Have we
yes.
though?
Yeah, so all that beats, I think it's a really insightful documentary.
Is
But
it?
I
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Jesus fucking
I understand your problems.
Okay. Now, I mean,
But yeah.
I have a
You don't have
problem.
to understand him, okay?
Yeah, you don't
your
have to,
problem
but I
is
mean,
the
no,
documentary.
it's one of the
Your
most
problem.
revered documentaries of last year. So I mean, I clearly I'm
You
missing
think it's
something that
too inward, right?
I mean, I think it's too. What Amartya said, I'm largely in agreement with. I think it's too. I think
Mm-hmm.
it needs to commit to being entirely aesthetic,
There is
aesthetics
a
driven documentary, or it needs to sort
yeah.
of commit to
Or
exploring
Was
the.
it was it similar to I haven't seen it properly,
Hmm.
but was it similar to like what Koeniskatsi does in like a very visual form
Goyanis Katsi
in a
has
way?
no voiceover though, or has is
No,
not.
no, no,
Yes,
no. I'm just talking like as a visual form. Like I mean,
a
Koeniskatsi is a
little bit,
documentary,
a
right?
little bit.
Yes. थोड़ा
So
बहुत
Uh,
तो है.
this
थोड़ा.
is
so
this is a
could
little
it be
too
possible?
tranquil also, like it's
mm,
supposed to be this meditative, look how beautiful, look how
Hmm.
this, look how everything is sort of, how
I
all
to
the
love the
things
first
are
shot though. By the
equal
way,
to each other, which is a
You know what
fine message, but
you know
mm.
what the,
it
you know what
comes
the
across
problem
as
is.
a bit whatever. Please.
You know
Hmm.
what the problem is. The problem is if you are going to critique this movie, the question inadvertently arises that ki, people are going to ask. You are not judging this movie based on what it is. You are judging this movie based on what you want it to be, and
I mean,
that that is a
that's
legitimate concern. I agree.
okay.
That's a legitimate concern.
Mm.
But the problem is in this case, it's like it feels like the director himself. I honestly think that he wanted to make this movie because the premise was so interesting. But then it's as
Mm.
if when he started to shoot the documentary,
Yeah.
it became almost distractingly languid in a way.
Yes.
And then he got focused on the aesthetics. So all of it, all of this coalesced together, and it became a
Mm.
hodgepodge of a lot of things.
I mean,
Hmm. Okay,
it's
I know.
positioned as something about exploring these two people who
Yes,
are, it's positioned as that, but it really is about all, like the title kind of gives it away. All that breeds,
all
right?
all the things.
You
Yes.
All
know,
is
you know
a
my
problem
problem.
in my
What
opinion.
The
So,
thing
what
is,
right.
what I like,
exactly.
what I
The
liked
thing
was
is that for me,
okay, you
yeah,
finish both. मैं बोलता हूँ बाद में. Finish.
for me, the problem is that there's no clear confidence. I know this might sound very harsh, but there's no clear confidence in filmmaking because at
Okay.
one point
You're right.
you're
It
going
sounds
ahead
harsh.
with your
It sounds harsh.
you're going you're going ahead with your aesthetics and you're making it seem so glossy and aesthetically accomplished. At the same time, you're not trusting your audience enough to get those contradictions, to get those contrasts, and you are showing in this very in the face voiceover which
Mm.
consistently gets worse. And
Yes,
by the
that I
end
agree
of the
with.
film, by the end of the film,
Kinda becomes
it
didactic in a way if you think about it.
exactly. So uh, for the majority of the film, I was loving how it never cut to how it never shows us any of the political scenarios of the country by actually going there. Right? It's you always hear those news anchors
Mhm.
talk about the political condition of the country in the background, right? You never see that. Even those scenes are contradicted and those contrasts are created with the side of the nature and those birds and all that. But in the end, if you're setting that up and then in the end you're just showing all these clippings and totally
So
contradicting your own style. It
Exactly.
just shows that you're not confident in your own filmmaking, and
I
you don't.
mean,
I
yeah.
understand that you have to make it because the film premiered and it was run throughout film festivals abroad. I understand that you have to maintain that universality, but
I,
it
I
doesn't
I
work.
haven't seen the film, but I
Hmm.
feel documentary is the kind of filmmaking where like a lot of things happen over years, and
Hmm.
so you have like a lot of time
Context is
period to
lost. Yeah.
so you have a lot of time to
Okay.
think, a lot of things change. So I mean,
Hmm.
I'm talking in general, like I mean this is like public knowledge. I mean it's not like
I
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
honestly,
think he has a very deliberate style. I would almost think this would make a better film than a documentary, in
Hmm.
fact.
okay,
Exactly.
You
okay.
remove the documentary tag almost, and you actually cast. I mean, to be very honest, I think the best parts of the film could be just what you said about the Cohen-esque cutscenes, sort of, just go
I
experience it.
haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. So
I
or
mean,
to
you
be
should
very
see
honest,
it.
or to be
I mean
very
of course, I'm
or
talking about all the grades, not
No,
Koine
the
Katsi.
Cohen-esque cutscene, I was saying, you should see.
I have seen Koine Katsi. Long,
You should see again.
long.
It's amazing.
or,
Okay,
or to be very or to be very honest, just
okay,
maintain
okay.
the cinema verite approach which he was trying to do in the
Yes.
first place. Mm, but also, it's like if you have to do this, mm, the last section is the one where I had the most problem with, because, like Sanjeev says, if
Hmm.
you're making a documentary over 2 years, real life events are always occurring, context always follows through, right? But if you are going to maintain a filmmaking style, I am sure
Exactly.
you are
Yep.
smart enough filmmaker to, adapt all your context or incorporate all your
It's
context
there,
within the.
yeah. It's
Exactly
there.
my point. It's
It's
already there
already
because,
there. You don't need
yeah,
it. It
Hmm.
is already there. I mean, the
you
the
don't
people who are
you don't
doing this job are Muslims. Are two
you don't need to
Muslims,
Hmm.
right?
you don't need to hammer it through unless, let me finish. You don't need to hammer it through unless you're catering it to a very specific audience, which
Yes.
again begs the question. Then who is your audience?
Yeah.
Which
That's
Film
again, in a way,
festival,
gives.
film festival वाले और क्या?
But that in itself restricts your own
Yes.
documentary getting a wider release in the country that it's meant to
Yes.
evoke that strong response from,
Documentaries will never
which
get
in
a wider
itself
release in
is.
India.
yeah.
Sachin
That
को
is
मिला था, I
like
think
a
I
thing.
remember,
Not
and a
even
lot
the
of
But
people
next.
thought that it was a
this
film.
even restricts it.
What?
Okay,
Sachin got it.
a night of noon. Okay.
Yeah, but then it was only there for like what 1 week,
Yeah,
two
yeah, and
weeks, and it
people thought
wasn't
it
like
was a
in
film.
2,000
But that
screens.
was
People
like
thought it
a
was a
Exactly.
movie.
religious thing, nah? It was a cricket documentary,
Yeah.
right? So even I was there in the theater,
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then
and
but my
there was
point is
crowd.
in general, it in the next even in the next 10, 15 years,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
No,
going to
I'm
get a wide
talking
release in India.
about even on streaming, right? I'm including even that.
Yeah.
There's not even a date
But
fixed
because
right
I
now.
think the buyers are reluctant to buy something which
Yes.
is like very politically driven,
This
and
That's
isn't
what
hence
I'm
they
saying.
overtly until
then
the end. So I would
ah,
think that you
so
could
That's what I'm
sneak
why
this
saying.
in.
That's what I'm
streamers
saying. Yeah.
won't buy? Like you remember we were discussing
Mm.
Dibakar Banerjee's movie.
mm,
Yeah.
Why is Netflix not
Yes.
like going to screen it?
Arey bhai,
Purely because it's
Mm.
like supremely political
it,
at this
it
point. So
Yeah.
again it again falls back on that same question, right? It's the argument as to what the movie is and what we want it to be. My basic
Mm.
question is, if you are going to maintain that covert nature of your own storytelling, just maintain it. If your documentary is never going to be released in your country officially, but in streaming
Mm.
services, and you are making a documentary, a form of medium in which context is delivered in a variety of ways
Yeah.
and delivered to viewers who are used to watching this form of content. So if you're going
Mm.
to do that, just maintain the covert storytelling. The problem kya hai? It's not
Yeah.
mm,
it's not that you have to explain it's not that you have to explain religious division among people. Every place there is religious division. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
Everywhere
mm,
there is racism. Everywhere there is human division. Divisions occurs anywhere. People can understand. If you're watching a documentary, I'm going to hold it to your account that you have got enough intelligence to understand what
Yep.
the documentary is going to say. So
mm.
No, I agree. I mean,
Okay, okay.
it's like this
So
only.
you
And Fire of
what
Love,
would you
I
guys
guess,
select?
for all of.
Fire of Love? All
Yeah.
of your?
I mean, it won't
all of
win, but
I I think Navalny
Navalny will
or All
win,
That
right?
Breaks My
I
Breath.
think I think it might just win.
Fire of Love.
Okay.
Which one?
Fingers crossed. I think it might
I
just
don't
win.
think
Yeah,
it'll win. I think Navalny will take it,
Okay.
considering just.
it's going to be the safest option. Weirdly,
Weird.
Weirdly the
I'm curious to watch
Hmm.
a House of Splinters. That's the only one I have not seen. Of the
all
All the
the
Beauty and the
House of
Bloodshed is
Splitters
lovely, by the way.
from.
It's We'll discuss this later
Hmm.
in a documentary episode. But All the Beauty and the Bloodshed is a very strong documentary, also.
I need to watch the documentary. I need to watch the documentary because I need to write an essay. But yeah.
Well, anyways,
Okay.
Navalny, if directed by Laura Poitras, who directed All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, would be
Hmm.
astonishingly good. I would. That's my personal.
Hmm.
But she directed the Citizen 4, the Edward Snowden one.
Oh, I know about the. I've seen it.
Oh,
She
okay.
does the
Oh,
whole
that was
paranoid
that
thing.
was fantastic.
Espionage thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving
Seriously.
on to international feature film.
Oh
Nominees
god.
being All Quiet, again, Argentina 1985, Close, EO, The Quiet Girl. I didn't know I had seen
And
Close.
Decision to Live. And
I
Decision.
mean, it's there. Abhi,
The
it's
one
been.
Both.
place where this movie should have been. But
I mean,
okay.
Uh,
no. One of the many places this movie should have been, but yes.
Yeah.
oh, I
One
This
of
forgot
the
one.
15 nominations.
Arey,
This
I
should have.
forgot one thing. Oh, Holy Spider.
Oh god.
I shall remain quiet. I don't
Dhruv,
have the energy.
I did
Same
not
here.
throw that bomb.
What do you mean by remain quiet? We've been waiting for this all this while. ये
I did,
podcast चलता ही तेरे rant के लिए.
I did not throw
मैं
that
rant
bombshell.
कम करता हूँ, boss.
I did not throw that bombshell here. I'm just putting it out there. This is
You
not
know
the
what
Aryan
film
agrees
should
with
have
me.
been here? I agree. You know what films should have been here apart from Decision to Leave, which I think it's already here. But
Yeah. In spirit.
I think
in
Chelo
spirit.
show.
No
Cello show,
Bears
yes.
and Pacifiction.
So this
Hmm.
is my big
Pacifiction is which country?
Pacifiction doesn't count, Aryan. It doesn't count.
How
According to their
Ah,
laws, it doesn't count. Like the international.
international produced?
So this is
Okay,
my big problem, right, with the international feature.
but close is internationally
Yes, no,
produced,
no,
right?
I'll tell you. So
Because
international
it's
feature
Belgian
में
production.
Belgian, yeah.
international feature
Okay,
में the each of the countries thing needs to submit
official
one film,
selection.
right?
Okay,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
So the big question now is, how will ever a Panahi film go
Hmm.
into the selection when the government itself has him in jail, right?
So then it needs co-production from different countries, mostly European,
I think,
where it gets
yeah,
funded.
these
Like
other
how
films
Holy
have made
Spider,
it.
Like the movie you hated. Holy Spider is
Holy
Holy Spider.
Spider will be Danish, German, French
I do.
production
Yes.
funded,
But
and
Holy
it's a
Spider's
Danish
director
entry.
lives in a foreign country, right? I think
Ali
France or
Abbasi,
Spain.
France,
Yeah,
I think.
I mean,
Danish.
yeah. So that's
It's
the thing, right?
Holy Spider was
Unlike
Denmark
Jafar Panahi.
submission. Holy Spider was
exactly.
Denmark.
Danish, yes.
So there's so many barriers for something to get nominated only. It's just so limiting. Like if a film is supremely critical of a regime, and
Okay.
if it is produced, like, if it's not doesn't have the luxury of being produced from international co-productions,
From that
it
point.
won't get a step in, which is di- which is di-
Hmm.
like it makes no sense. Firstly, because
Exactly.
like
I think this game is all about how do you put yourself out there. It doesn't matter where you come
Hmm.
from at the end of the day.
so that's what I'm
Like,
saying. It's so like useless in any case. Like it's so.
to this episode, I mean,
Discuss
we
Yeah, I
started
know,
it
I
by
know.
saying that was
I know
established
it's
rule.
I think
I know.
it's a bit
useless in
pissing
Get
what
your
off.
point.
It's a bit
useless
pissing
in
off
what
when something like No Bears doesn't get a look in. Like I mean, that's
Hmm.
not a case of
I
me liking it or
really
not.
want to watch that film because only two of you have seen it, right?
Yeah, but
Mhm.
it's not a case of me
Yeah, but I
liking the
really
film
want
or
to watch
not.
it, honestly.
It's not even a case of me liking the film, like liking the film a lot or not. But it's the sense of, if you're going to do all this, some of the nominations inevitably get into the award show because they are sort of off the time, because it's a responsibility that the Oscars feel to show that they are politically conscious, which is a bit of a
Hmm.
dubious thing. Whatever, like it's a bit of a
Hmm.
hypocritical thing. But
Ag-
anyways,
yeah. It again brings to mind another simple thing is that there was a, I think there was a conversation happening in one of those talk shows in which somebody was saying that the Academy or the Oscars is very American centric, Americentric, which is
hmm,
fine.
Yeah.
Americentrism is fine. But if you are American centric, just admit it that you're American centric and just
yes,
admit it
Hmm.
and call it
Don't put
American.
on this facade, right,
Don't put on this
yes.
facade
of
that you're
being inclusive. Yeah.
put on this
I
facade
think
that you're the world's biggest, with the world's only sole authority on
Hmm.
what a
Hmm.
movie Oscar should be. That's not what you are.
But I think that semblance has already started cracking since years. I mean,
Yeah.
I think even Albert Sarah wouldn't have liked sending his submitting his
I
film to
mean,
the Oscars
we'll
and
talk about Pacifiction later. I
he
don't think it'll
didn't.
make a like. I know it's not even an Oscar type of film. I
But
feel
which
like
country is it
Exactly, that's what I
from?
was.
Batao to.
France, France,
Internationally produced, but yeah,
It's a
obviously.
French film, a
French,
French language film.
Spanish. I think it's a French language
Languages.
film. Language is France, French. Sorry.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And what
That way, Triangle of Sadness is also like a lot of European production.
The
but I
Triangle of
think
Sadness core language is English, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a
Hmm.
American British film, but it's like the production is still.
Again,
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's where you are submitting it for your academic
I mean,
consideration.
if Pacifiction would have, I mean, I don't know about it, but like if it had its US and it was eligible for Best
it
Feature
wasn't
film,
At,
eligible only. It released right now. So
Hmm.
uh,
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
at the
It's
Pacifiction.
Pacifiction
not really.
was there here
I'll
also.
tell you
But like,
what was eligible and probably I. So this is a weak category in my opinion. At least I don't like a lot of the. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the
you,
films here.
you have seen all of them, right?
I've seen all of them. Yes.
How is
Uh,
Argentina
and
95?
Argentina 1985 is your
it's
standard
fine.
issue
Yeah,
courtroom drama, which is like
but
perfectly caught.
I,
it's good. Not great,
I
but
heard a criticism that Argentina 1985 is a very surface level exploration of the politics it
Yeah,
is trying to
it's
yeah,
this
but
whole
then it's surface level and all is like
appealing to like a larger
secondary. I feel
audience, basically, sort of like that.
no
the
wonder it's a
engage.
trend.
No,
No.
but the point is, how do you engage your audience,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
like
I
they
think
have to
it's
exactly.
tell you.
But
also to
surface level and
maintain
all
that
criticism is like the
universality.
most baseless shit. Of course, fuck that.
I mean, it's fine.
Obviously.
Like
Hmm.
Ricardo Darin's very good, so you get him.
Hmm.
There's a good
Hmm.
speech in it, so like like it's
No,
perfectly good.
you
Yes.
know why I'm asking. You know why I'm asking Sanjay, because if this is a courtroom drama and everything, I'm just asking if I had to remove one movie.
Santoma.
Yeah,
You was
because
yes. Yeah.
yes,
Joyland? No Joyland.
Joyland.
Joyland, you guys
Exactly.
like, so you guys can champion it. I don't. I
Joyland
have
should have. I really
reservations.
thought that it would have made it because it's a big deal coming out of Pakistan.
Yes,
I think it would have gotten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but
And it has a lot
the
of those. It ticks off a lot of the
But
indie
things.
I
the
would have preferred Chelo Show over Joyland, honestly. That's my
I
okay.
personal.
like
Okay.
I
Hmm.
like Chelo Show a lot, honestly.
That's that one film where I
But you
cried
knew this
ugly
is not going to get
properly.
nominated, right? It's the standard.
I
Mm,
knew.
It would have happened.
Chelo Show.
but
Yeah, yeah.
I
Look,
haven't seen A
after
Quiet Girl. Have you seen it?
The Quiet Girl's
no.
very. So that's the. So what you were
Mid.
saying, Aryan, about the rogue pick almost from a nation which generally
Okay.
doesn't get the things picked from, right? So
Silent, right?
Pakistan ka.
Irish. Yeah.
This is Irish.
Silent.
Hmm.
So Ireland, yeah. So you get
Okay.
like that. That's the sneaky pick. I mean, in the best moments, it reminded me of Udan. So that's, I guess, the biggest compliment I can give to you.
I think it's
You only
supposed to
do.
be very heartwarming and
It's very
it's very light-hearted.
bittersweet. Yeah, it's. I mean, it lives up to the title. It's fairly quiet also. Like it's nice and like whatever.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a pleasant. I don't want to say pleasant, but it's like it's a perfectly good indie film. I think. Like it's a like out of all these, I
Hmm.
actually like it the most. But then I don't like All Quiet on the Western Front.
How is close?
Sanjeet, you
Good.
really liked it, I
Sanjeet
think.
loved it. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, I think my love has reduced over the days, but like I feel it's still very good, very
I
well.
think the first
Like
half of the movie is very good. I think the second half doesn't work for me. So
I agree. I agree.
I
I think
think
the
the
first
second half is
20
again
minutes
same
are
problem. It's
amazing.
overwritten. It's
Hmm.
Hmm.
overwritten again. So I
I
mean,
do
again
think I
another
have a
example
problem
of
with the
overwritten film.
central thing only. I won't spoil the film,
No,
but
I
there is.
like the central thing quite a lot. I
I didn't.
actually
I thought it
really
was
liked it.
not very good. I so that's my big issue
Even
with
I
it.
was.
And Aryan, and EO Aryan. How
You
is
are in.
EO?
You can champion.
I see if you are on the right, it's literally a case of what you bring to the movie is what you take away from it, right? If you've watched the original Bresson film, then you know what to
It's a
expect.
remake.
But
Sort
it's
of.
an inspired remake in a way. It's not an official remake, but it's
Hmm.
obvious.
I mean, it's
And the thing
probably
is
going to
that
be
a lot of
livelier than the Bresson film. Bresson probably didn't move his
the
camera.
thing, yeah,
Yeah.
Bresson's thing was entire about cinema versus cinematography and all that shit. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
here, the thing is that it flattens out Bresson's obtuse filmmaking and replaces it not with a conventional structure,
Yeah.
but
It's
with a more experimental approach, which
yeah.
is like
Hmm.
great. For
Out of
me, it was
actually,
like extremely hypnotic.
sorry, just to I was saying out of all
Yeah,
these,
yeah,
if you were going to say which is the most uniquely directed film, that's definitely EO.
Yo.
Yeah.
definitely
And
you.
who do you think will win?
Amazing.
All quiet.
All Quiet, no? Because it's. I mean,
And
it's
which one would
given,
you
no?
want?
Out of these. I
Mhm.
I
I
I
care.
don't
I
really
don't
care
care
much,
either way.
but
I don't care either.
I like EO or the Quiet Girl, either or. I would be
Mm.
happy with.
Okay,
Quiet Girl,
okay.
I think I would pretty much like it. I'll watch
I
it
mean, it's
this
a
week
pretty good
sometime.
movie. Like I think
No, but
it's kind of a
then,
crowd pleaser in a sense.
but then again,
Okay.
I think the international feature is the one category in which the populist votes don't usually get the awards, right? It's more
Yeah.
like
Oh, thank God.
most of the wins are usually what people think should win, kind of sort of.
I mean, this
So
one
it's
they
Okay.
kind of gave away, like if you nominate All Quiet on both fronts,
yeah,
for
no,
lack of a better word, yes, that
Yeah, I
yeah.
then
mean, we
then
saw
Then,
what happened with
yeah, then
Dialoka.
if All Quiet doesn't win Best Picture, which it is not going to, then it is
yeah,
Mm.
going to win.
I hope.
we will
Yeah.
talk about this
Okay,
All Quiet
moving on
Hmm.
problem because that is problem.
to
Sanjeet, can you expand a little
animated.
bit actually on the problems that people have said about All Quiet from your end? You've not seen it, but like your friends have.
I haven't seen it, but like the people who I know and
Hmm.
who are like
What do they not
Europeans.
like? I'm curious because I
So
don't like specific
I
things.
mean, All Quiet was part of their curriculum most of
The
them.
book,
Like
right?
The
yeah, the
original.
book.
Yeah.
Okay.
The book.
No,
Yeah.
the book was part of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
like educational curriculum, so they've grown
Hmm.
up like reading
Sacrilege
it.
book. It is like it's a big thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
what I've gotten to know. But like they like so one of the basic criticisms that came off of it was like uh and he's a filmmaker too, and he said like none of these characters feel authentic to him. And I mean, I don't know, but I think they
Cardboard
die.
cutouts, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they just feel like how am I supposed like I hated that character a scene before, and he's dying in the next scene. How am I supposed to feel any
Yeah.
sympathy for
Okay.
him?
Got it. Hmm.
I mean,
Definitely.
that was the basic criticism, and they've basically shat on it quite a lot because they are like, it's more like a bastardized version of, even though it's like an updated version, but it's more bastardized, knowing what like the world is rather than like the actual representation of what
Got it.
the war should have been.
Got
So
it.
it feels a
Hmm.
bit inauthentic. More than inauthentic, it's more like the criticism that I've gotten was more to do with a lot of filmmaking
Adaptation
stuff,
problems.
which
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
adaptation
Okay.
Okay.
stuff and all,
Got it. Got it.
which
So so we have both seen the originals, right? You and
I have
Dhruv.
yes, and you have yes.
Yes, I have
I
both of us.
haven't, I haven't. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
anything.
So the problems which I think both of us have are the additions.
The additions
Are
are the
the
problem. Additions
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
additions?
in
The
the new
Okay,
additions,
one.
don't tell me. Don't tell me.
the new
I
ones,
mean,
yeah. Huge problem.
yeah.
Pacing issues, galore.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Storytelling issues, galore.
But the camera work was actually praised by all of them. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
which is the
But
I think
again,
yeah.
see, it's
everything
But then
consistently well made, but it
it's a war movie.
literally adds nothing new or extraordinary to
in
the
the
I
war
scene.
genre or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mean to sound very callous in that regard, but if you're making a war movie, if your camera work is not good, you shouldn't make a war movie. I'm sorry. So
Exactly.
yeah. So if you're going to show me violence,
Michael
because
Bay.
violence itself is cinematic. Oh come on. But violence itself is cinematic. So
Mhm.
if you're going to show me violence, if you're going to show visceral violence like that, your camera work needs to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thin Red Line wasn't that violent.
Yeah, it's not. It's not
Mm.
in terms of blood, but it is
And
psychologically
Mm.
tormenting, I think.
the point,
Which
the
is
point,
always better.
the
I
point
think
being,
yes.
the point being that if we have to talk about a movie which explored war at least from an aesthetic standpoint and pushed it to its ultimate level, I think we saw it already. It's called 1917.
Hmm.
Another movie I don't care for much. So my problem stems from there more than
We
anything
don't.
else. So
I'm
That
not
was
saying
like a video game anyway.
this is
So
I'm
also
not.
a bit like this.
This is a.
Looks like.
ah,
I'm not saying you have to care for it. I'm not saying caring for it in any other regard. I'm saying from a visual standpoint.
Yeah.
Hmm.
mm.
Yeah.
Again, I think, I mean, I don't know, I haven't read the book or I haven't watched the original, the older film, but
Yeah.
what I think is getting a lot of norms for this film and a lot of awards that it's won recently is just this entire message of, oh, propaganda, oh, self-reflexive take on your own country, on what it did, and
Anyway,
of
these Germans
making
are
this.
very apologetic about everything.
But
What is that?
still, it's.
But
I
are
mean,
still
that's why it's
racist.
making it the Oscars, right? That's what
To be
I've seen
fair, we also
this
expect.
year.
That's because of Netflix.
To be
Hmm.
fair,
Uh,
if any country has to be apologetic about all the war crimes they have done, I also expect the British to do the same thing. Yeah, but anyway, you
Hmm.
get.
But they make Darkest Star on the other hand.
Ha ha
But
ha.
Moving on to best
Aftersun is
animated
very
feature
well
film.
directed, but okay.
I know,
Yes,
that's
Yeah,
a
truly
very
different
well
thing.
acted as well.
very well directed, but complete fabrication of a fucking fairy
Yes,
tale. Anyway, let's
yes,
continue.
Chalo.
yes, yes.
Uh,
Animation quickly we'll go through.
Guillermo del
GDT.
Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel with
Oh,
the shoes,
oh God.
Marcel the
Marcel.
shell with shoes on,
Okay.
Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, The Sea Beast Turning Red, and my favorite, Apollo 10 and a half.
Ha 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 ha.
And I'm joking. Go
Okay,
ahead, go
so
ahead.
Wait, is it
What do you guys
nominated?
think?
No,
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 it
no,
is.
no.
no, it's not. I'm joking. I'm joking.
What? It's not nominated.
Yeah, they forgot, no?
Hooray.
The
We,
hell, man.
we really.
Rotoscoping
No, they
doesn't
had
count.
they had an issue. It wasn't even considered
Eligible.
because
Yes, yeah.
they don't consider that as animation.
Yes,
Although
I got what
they
you meant. Yes.
sent letters
Okay.
and all of that, they
वो
didn't. The
बेवकूफ
category
हैं.
was like,
Like not
no.
They,
Richard Linklater, the other
Hmm.
one.
they don't consider rotoscope as animation. क्या
Which
बकवास
is
है.
like the
So
most
stupid, man.
so stupid. I mean, that's. I mean, Linklater would have sold the film to Netflix, telling that it would get nominated.
Yep.
Actually, I feel,
Hmm.
but it's like
I mean, it's very
So
good. But anyways, yes. Marcel की तारीफ करो sir, ताकि मैं उल्टी करूँ.
I haven't seen. I've
I'm
seen only two of
I'm not
out of
I'm
them.
not making I'm not giving Marcel I'm not making कितना तारीफ
Okay, ठीक है.
करो जो भी हो but problem ये
I'm
है
sorry, मजाक कर रहा था.
yeah पता है. The thing about it is I don't think Marcel is as diabetic as you think it is. ठीक है ना. Just putting it out
Fair
there.
enough.
It's
Yes.
not that sweet heavy or anything like that.
Okay.
It's just a nice antidote because it is simple. That's
No,
all
I
there
get
is.
it. I totally get the appeal, boss. I'm not denying the appeal of the movie. I mean, I have this similar
I
reaction
like
to
the
some sweet stuff. Yeah, yeah.
uh, I like the fact that the hybrid nature of the live action and animated part. I think that was done quite well.
No, no,
That
it's
that's
done very well. I just think that makes my immersion also a bit less with it. So it's a weird thing, right? Like if you paint everything in color and like animation, I feel I am more prone to whatever he's doing. Here it's sort of half and half, like it's half whatever uh
mm-hmm.
stop
Yeah.
motion, I think, and half is normal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Hmm.
like put off. Like again, I
But sounds
said,
interesting though. Huh? I didn't
ah,
know about this
I told
It is very
until
Amartya,
you guys.
I told
it is
Amartya, like messaged him saying everyone, I think, on the letterbox thing it says everyone
Oh,
loves Marcel, and I was
everyone
like,
loves Marcel.
but I was like, I don't like. That's the whole
Aryan,
thing.
you also didn't like
I
it.
the thing is, my not liking it is stemming out of something very different. I did not mind the movie, but the,
Which is?
coincidentally, I ended up watching
Ah, yes,
this
yes, you said.
film called Little Nicholas at PIF. Okay, it uses the same approach of vicariously living through your childhood to cope up with this trauma of creating this character. And the main difference is that in that film it has a very well rooted, based on a true story, subtext and context to latch onto. Over here I just did not care as much, even though I was constantly okay with the film. But that film in the same runtime does it so beautifully that it actually reminded me of parts from Apollo 10 and a half,
Okay.
because it's
Hmm.
similarly melancholic, but it's done, everything is done with a purpose.
I mean, it's still good.
Okay.
I'm not discouraging anyone from seeing Marcel. By the way, it's a personal,
Oh, yeah,
very
it's
personal.
completely,
Yes,
and
yes.
I
okay.
think
Hmm.
it's the most accessible and heartwarming
Okay, so Apollo 10 and a half मुझे नहीं पता क्या मेलनकोलिया दिखा तुम्हें. ठीक है.
film.
That
Sorry?
that movie. I'm just saying that movie is
I thought you
like
also liked it. No?
I liked it fine. I liked it fine.
Okay.
I wasn't
Okay, okay, okay. My bad.
I wasn't too impressed by it. But वही problem है कि I think the movie Marcel जो है, I think Marcel created his world pretty well enough that you can actually connect with Marcel. What made it work for me is that Jenny Slate का जो voice है, I think Jenny Slate's
वही
Yeah.
मेरा हाँ वो मेरा disconnect है. So it's that thing, right, where you get one thing works for someone and one thing just doesn't. Yeah.
Mm.
that's why at the end of the day it's subjective because Jenny
Yes.
Slate ka voice it didn't come off as irritating to me. I think
Yes.
it came off just fine.
Mm.
Anna
Yeah,
Coney is very good, by the way. Isabella
yes,
Rossellini voiced her. She's the star
which is
of the show.
surprising.
And you know, another thing that I had a problem with, I was, as I said, I was liking the movie just fine. Okay, I genuinely thought it was well made and all, but the ending felt abrupt. I don't
Don't
know.
remember.
अरे
I
ये
was
सब मत बताओ.
expecting more
Yeah,
of a
Sanjeet, आप
cathartic.
देखोगे ना
I mean, it's
Marcel with
very
the shell on the
contextual.
shoes on.
नहीं देखो क्या?
नहीं आप
And
देखोगे, मैं ऐसे बोल रहा हूँ जैसे you'll see it.
I think
100% you
I
won't see
was
it
just
until 2 years.
expecting.
Next 2 years
I'll
or
tell
I'm
you.
sometime.
going
I
through a
was just
low phase. I'll
expecting a
get back to watching. Don't worry.
both of them definitely watched.
No, see, no, see, no, see, देखो आर्यन, देखो ध्रुव और आर्यन के जिंदगी में कोई खुशी खुशी कुछ है नहीं, इसलिए
हाँ
ये लोग
exactly.
कल
नहीं सही बात है, मैं मना नहीं कर
Yeah.
रहा, सही है, एकदम
भाई
सही है,
क्या बात
सही
है
है, सही है, नहीं I don't disagree also.
Jeet is like,
नहीं but you can ये अरे जीते की by the way GDT की पिनोकियो
भाई
है,
जीते वही जीते भाई
नहीं
मैं
वो
उसको
ही
मार्केटिंग
जीतेगी, it is the
पिनोकियो will
it's
win,
already
easy.
given to it basically. I
I love
actually
it. I
think
love
they
that
could
film.
have
We've
pushed
discussed
for
also.
a best
I
picture now.
Best film also. Yes, I agree.
I don't
Pinocchio,
think it
right?
is as good, but I think but yes.
Pinocchio.
I mean,
the
in comparison
सर
to other
आपको नहीं
ones,
अच्छी लगेगी सर, आप GDT
No, I
फैन नहीं हो.
watched.
अच्छा
I
you
he
watched.
watched?
liked it, no?
Yeah, I liked it.
So you liked it,
I liked
okay.
it a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
the one other
Surprisingly, I've liked his last two films more than any of his previous films. See, I loved
Which one?
Pan's
Pan's
Labyrinth
Labyrinth.
also.
No, no, not that.
हाँ, okay.
I did not
No,
like
wait. His last two films were. I also
Nightmare
liked
Alley.
He like
Nightmare
Nightmare
Alley.
Alley.
I also
I
liked
loved it.
it.
Yeah.
the one other movie. हाँ हाँ आर्यन को तो नाइटमेयर एली पसंद आया था, आर्यन को जस्ट 1940s का नाइटमेयर एली विद द हेज को ज्यादा पसंद आया था, रिमेंबर दैट?
वो भी I liked. Yeah.
या
Oh.
वही कह रहा
Anyway,
हूँ एडी।
चलो,
ठीक है.
moving on.
नो
Last
नो
Best
moving on के
directors.
खत्म ही हो रहा है इसके बाद. बोलो हाँ
एक से
अमर्त्य.
मैं सिर्फ यही कहने वाला था कि जीडीटी का पिनोकियो के साथ एक और मूवी which I think could have been given a better push other than Turning Red or anything is Sea
Hmm.
Beast. I just saw Sea Beast recently.
Yes, you've seen it. I've not seen it yet. Yeah.
I
But
have
Turning Red isn't deserving only. It's like that Pixar is like
One
now like a
Pixar has
चाहिए
to
cheaper
ना
go,
version.
no?
Pixar तो चाहिए.
But cheap Pixar has made like a very has not is not. I mean, I remember in 2020 when they made Onwards. I remember it.
Oh yeah.
It
that
felt like a cheaper version of any Pixar film. And since then, from whatever I've seen, my sister still watches a lot of Pixar,
Yeah.
and she says that it's like all the films now are like in a way are like cheaper versions of what Pixar. It's
So
like a
sad,
you know
no?
if like a if someone else were to copy like a Pixar, it would be these
It's
films.
quite sad.
I think after Toy Story 4, everything that they have made is like
I
subpar.
mean that
Soul कब आई
bombed
थी?
badly, right? The
What?
Lightyear bombed.
Lightyear.
It was very bad. It was very bad.
You saw it.
I
right?
haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
so I had seen the Sea Beast and I genuinely think
Sorry,
that
yeah.
it is a pretty smart movie if you think about
Yeah.
it, because
Okay.
it is I joked that this is basically How to Train Your Dragon, just Sea Beast
With
version.
Sea
Sea
Beast.
Beast. Yeah.
It's more or less that, but
Yep.
it's smart because it both tries to be a monster movie and then it again becomes the subversion of what a monster movie should be.
Got it.
So, and it does it pretty well, but it also tries to maintain that it is a kids movie, so it is appealing to all ages, and it is doing it
Understood.
very well. So
So yeah,
I
one more thing to look forward to for me. Puss in Boots I haven't seen. I'm looking forward to watching. Even though the
Even I
first
haven't.
movie is suspiciously horny, which is not a sentiment I would have
Amartya
associated.
will throw the same critique.
Puss in Boots the Last Fish, I think what I have heard Puss in Boots the Last Fish के बारे में, I think that movie is extremely existential and the movie is also
Oh, okay. So
Surprising
no,
only
अपना
how it
अपना
sprung
है.
out of nowhere, huh?
yeah.
Now we'll watch it
Surprisingly-
right away.
It took 10 years to make Puss in Boots.
Nahi, but
Last
I've
Fish.
heard it's the animation is also very good, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, first Puss in Boots, very strange. Like the
It's
amount of
fun.
like the amount of humor they have on like nuts and all that. I was like, really? Does this sell to like kids?
But even
Have you
though I've
guys seen
not
Captain
watched it,
Underpants?
Captain
Yes.
Underpants is amazing.
I
That's
love
just
it.
funny.
So I mean, that's
It's
like
fun.
Sausage Party.
But that's no, I know,
What?
man.
I love it.
It's
Sausage
hilarious.
Party is just cringe humor. That's Seth Rogen.
Yeah, but it still
wo
works.
whatever.
I mean, I miss Seth Rogen comedies at this
Well,
point.
I don't miss him at all. I don't like the
even I
gay
will, yeah.
comedy. Yeah.
It's okay.
Even though I've
Anyways.
not watched
I'm the
Puss in
only
Boots
fan.
2,
Like
I genuinely think it will win because
Watch
of the box
Preacher,
office.
watch Preacher, The Boys, or Invincible. You will not.
yeah,
miss
now
it.
he's making shows, right? So
It's,
I've
You will
seen Invincible and Preacher and all of that. I've seen. Okay,
He-
moving on.
to
अब
our
क्या नाम हुआ
final.
सर?
Oh yes, दो बाकी है ना?
Best
Best
director,
director
best
and
Best
film.
director.
Main stuff.
Martin McDonough, Banshees, Daniels, Everything Everywhere, All at Once, Steven Spielberg, The Fablemans, Todd Field, Tar, Ruben
You
Östlund,
cannot say the last
Triangle
name.
of
I was about to say don't say the last name. Replace it. with
With-
Park
Please
Chan-wook.
replace.
I mean, he'll win it then.
Oh,
I mean, you know who the rogue person in this would for me would be Rajamouli, huh? For RRR.
It's that's not
Yeah.
rogue. I would think I would
I
happily
mean,
have him
rogue as
over.
in
Not
him,
anymore.
which is like
I would
Yeah.
happily have him
you
over.
get my point.
Over
Considering
one
the
of them at least. So
considering
Osland, I really like Osland. Ruben Osland's thing was good.
no.
considering the fact that Triple R had so much popularity, I'm surprised that Rajamouli
Yeah.
wasn't even given consideration.
Same.
That
I
was
mean, Park Chan-wook also.
That's
He got a
fine.
nomination in the BAFTAs. Like he got the only
I-
nomination there. So
Hmm.
भाई कोरियन मूवी का कोटा खत्म हो गया है अमेरिकन
I know.
एकेडमी
I know.
on
you know how they say that
Jordan
filmmaking is
Peele.
a director's medium.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch Decision to Leave, and if
Yeah.
that's not peak
I mean,
cinema for
hot
you,
take, but again, RRR is also same. It's a proper
yeah,
director's
it is
film.
like it
Yeah.
is
Like
very auteur.
you
I
can
mean, I
only
would.
direct
Yeah.
stuff like that. You cannot
I-
like
I
You
would
need
assume
a-
even I'm not a big Aftersun guy, but like even Charlotte Wells probably.
I don't
Okay.
think so. I definitely think that she should have gotten nominated,
Yes.
but I never expected her to get
Got it.
nominated
Okay.
you know I'm
because first
know-
film and a lot of other factors.
I'm surprised that Triple R did not get, at least Rajamouli did not get a nomination.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
People were raving about that movie. No, I'm
Yeah.
surprised because
Mm.
people were
This
raving
still
about
are this are it
Still
still
are.
going
It's
houseful
it's
in
getting a
US?
re-release with
Yeah.
proper quoted
No, but in LA,
lines
my
from.
friend who was working there, he told me that it was still in one two cinemas before the re-release
मैं भी
announcement and
जाऊंगा
all
एक
that.
बार शायद काफी टाइम हो
And
गया देखे
a
हुए
lot of households and all of that. Like there,
it.
it's become that Indian thing, right? Like where you're like jobless and you just go and sit there and watch movies. It's like RRR is going full.
इंडियंस
अरे
नहीं
तो
जाते सिर्फ
The past
फिरंगी भी जाते
Indians
हैं
जाते हैं sir. I mean,
सिर्फ इंडियंस नहीं जाते हमसे
हाँ हाँ हाँ, okay okay.
Okay.
अरे तो
और भी
वही है
लोग
ना
जॉबलेस है भाई
हाँ.
अरे तो पॉइंट तो वही है ना असीम छाबड़ा का जो पॉइट था ये
Oh
ब्राउन
God, I knew he's gonna bring this. I tried not to, but okay.
Seems, what if you have to call him one day?
this is the brown ministerial show. That's literally what he wrote. I'm not even bastardizing his statement. That's literally what he wrote. So
Yes.
but considering the fact that now हम क्या कर सकते हैं अगर फिरंगियों को brown ministerial show पसंद है my point being that if people are liking this why don't you just lobby for it? It's not
Yeah.
even that. That's my whole
No,
point.
sir. There is only one path for lobbying. All that breeds.
Yeah.
What do
क्योंकि
you
वो
think about GDT and Mark Gustafson?
Yeah, you could have
हाँ
brought him. अरे मेरा तो टेरेंस डेविस को I know उसको नहीं देगा कोई अवार्ड बट दे दो भाई प्लीज और उसकी पिक्चरों में इतना हार्ट ब्रेक है वो
एक
बेचारा
हाँ वही मैं बोल
वो
रहा था एक
हर
थोड़ा
बार
normal
बेचारा
ऐसा.
like every film of his
James
recently
Gray?
has been about
now
James
the
Gray I
problem
would put but then no one else
Mm.
would.
now the problem is now the
I
problem
would too. I really
now
liked.
now the problem is we all are sounding like Gina Prince Blythewood and we should all write columns on Hollywood Reporter telling why each and
No,
every one of
I
our
don't. No, I'm saying that. See, I do
I'm-
genuinely think that Benediction is
I'm-
one of the best directed films of the. I mean, I'm not saying कि उसको sympathy दे दो. Like,
anyway, my point is not that. My point being
Yeah.
there are only 5 slots. At the end of the day,
yes,
this is a fight about merit. Lobbying ho, jo bhi ho, this is
Huh,
Yeah.
huh, for sure, for sure. We are just like this. That
yeah.
fantasy
This is
thing comes
yes,
back
yes.
again. So
वही yes, exactly.
I
Having-
would
Panahi, भाई
personally-
Panahi, Jafar Panahi. I'm like,
having said that, if this entire thing is a point of merit, what is Ruben Ostlund doing here?
no, I would put him. So that's
Because it's
for
a
me,
loud
Lambo.
film,
Dark
box
Horse.
office
What do you call
success,
that?
film festival success. I mean,
Yes.
I've seen the queues for this film. Okay,
yeah.
it's.
Which film?
I mean, मैं
Oh.
बाहर खड़ा था मैं सबको बोल रहा हूँ कि
Triangle of
Sadness.
Sadness.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
in Piff,
crazy,
it was
crazy.
crazy. It was
Crazy, yeah.
houseful. In I imagine in Berlin, it's never been like I've not gotten a ticket.
If I'm not
Only once it happened. Only once. It
if
was
I'm not
Triangle of Sadness.
if I'm not wrong, Delhi is having a screening of Triangle of Sadness in which I think the director is coming. If I'm not wrong,
Wow.
and
Win.
It's having a wide release in India. On
Call-
this
call-
Sanjeev, don't tell me you're gonna go watch it again, man.
I would have if I was there.
Oh God.
Carl, I think that
Ruben Ostlund's coming. Why not? Yeah.
Because he's
I
not even a
think-
good Q&A person. I've been in
I'm
I've seen one of his Q&As. It's not
fine.
very
I
good.
mean, you have already seen
मेरा बात तो खत्म
Sarah.
हाँ, बोलो, sorry,
your
Amartya.
benchmark is high.
My
बुरा मान
perspective,
गया.
no, I'm not saying
I'm
that.
kidding. I'm kidding.
He's talking about 10 up. That's why I'm saying तेरा बात खत्म करने तो फिर 10 up के बारे में बात करो. My point being, कल screening है, and so I think it's in the evening, and something after that there is a Q&A and after party and all some shit like that. I think Aryan Films is sending one of that.
Cruise पे.
Yeah, I think even
Wait.
Aryan.
अरे मुझे
Yeah.
भेज दो यार.
कौन से क्रूज पे हुए? कहाँ
दिल्ली भी
क्रूज
नहीं
जाएगा? कहाँ दिल्ली
हाँ,
में? ये
दिल्ली
बताओ.
में क्रूज कहाँ जाएगा?
हैं, जमुना
कहाँ जाएगा?
यमुना पे.
है.
वसंत कुंज
I
भेज
was
दो.
trying to say something else, referring to the
I know
pollution in
pollution.
Delhi, but
Yes. Better choice of words, please.
Words वो बहुत
it's
use कर
3 in
दिया.
the morning. What do you expect?
That's
We're
true.
running out of coffee.
Yes. No, that's fair enough. Anyways, we can move ahead. But yeah, I was saying Jafar Panahi. Like, again, if you're
हाँ,
going to give
देखा
that
नहीं
sort
तो.
of. Yeah. No, but if you're going to
यार,
do that sort of thing,
जो मैंने देखा उसमें तो सीधा डैनियल्स. No doubt about that.
fair enough.
Wait, they're nominated.
Yeah, they'll win.
Is
I
everything?
haven't
I
seen
would.
Fablemans.
My favorite of the lots is probably Spielberg only, but then
I haven't
Spielberg
seen.
will win. Definitely, he'll win.
who's
अरे
Spielberg?
जीते
I
मैं तो
don't think. I think Kwon.
Yeah,
मैं तो खुशी होऊंगा. I feel.
See, the
Look.
thing is that they'll be giving everything everywhere all at once the Best Picture award. So I don't think it will win.
Oh, you think they'll
Best
split it?
Picture. Yeah.
खुश करने के लिए.
No,
Because see,
हाँ,
if you
Steven
look
को तो
at the
कुछ करना
pattern,
पड़ेगा.
if you look at the pattern, then the entire nomination list as well this time around has been very, very, very balanced.
No, we have
हाँ.
to,
So
no, we have to
We'll
be
come to the
diverse.
most balanced category also after this.
We have to be
no,
diverse.
not in that.
We have to be
बोलो
diverse now.
Amartya. Yes, yes.
बोलो, बोलो.
We have to be diverse now. क्या कह रहे हो? अरे Asians did not used to be box office draw. Then Crazy Rich Asians came. Now Americans think that Asians are box office draw. You have to prove that ना, क्योंकि हम तो Hollywood है. कोटा this time Asian movies का हो गया यहाँ.
Best picture. Yes.
Finally moving on to the last category. Finally, drum roll.
करो
Um,
सर
Still
आप.
laughing
बजाओ
over
बजाओ.
Best Picture.
Yeah.
All Quiet on the Western Front. Again. Avatar, The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, Women Talking.
So, what do you guys think of the nominations? Weak?
Okay, first
Not
of all,
weak.
extremely weak.
All quota. It's not about weak, no. It's like about quota. They put in blockbusters, do quota
Blockbusters.
full gone. It's like one very indie film which no one knows or talks about women talking.
People know about women talking, Sanjeet.
I mean, only
Okay.
Richard Brody knows, but
They don't have-
One musical biopic, Elvis.
Yeah.
Fableman's big director.
one war epic.
War film.
the
Banshees of
Tiger.
Inisherin is that
Solid
typical
Indie, yeah.
your
Solid.
phantom
Talkative.
thread types.
Horror movie है तो
entry.
bonus. Our movie.
Triangle of Sadness again.
Mass
No, that
satire.
I don't get.
Mass.
I don't
Oh,
understand why
Mass.
triangle
Good word.
sadness.
Oh, because
Mass.
political relevance.
Mass.
Satire. It's loud.
Political. And Everything Everywhere All at Once, the most deserving of them all.
The most
Right.
diverse of them all. Get the word right.
Hmm.
The most
Diverse.
Ah, it is.
Diverse
is.
It is all
is an
diverse.
additional word.
For
It
the
is
good
all
this time around.
I mean, I
It's
do
all
think the
diverse.
film has problem. Like, I don't think the film is as good as Sanjeet
Of
thinks.
the
so.
nominations,
I
haven't
was the
seen-
first one who was like, everyone around me was like loving it, and I was like,
I mean, there are
Okay,
problems. I
maybe-
think also.
Which
I'm
film?
with
Which
you.
film?
Everything,
Yeah.
everywhere.
नहीं,
I
मेरे
mean,
लिए
I
तो
think
fine, fine.
that's a personal, like the whole personal thing about the humor is remains a problem for me.
Yeah.
I just can't get
Hmm,
over
hmm,
that.
hmm.
Everything everywhere. मेरा जो problem है, I think the movie is overstuffed for a
Okay,
2 hour
I
long.
mean, that is its selling
but
thing.
it's
also,
in
I
the
think.
But that's the
title itself,
intent,
so
actually.
that's
Yeah, so
I get
that's
the
the
intent.
intent.
I get the intent. It's subjective to me because I get the
Yeah.
intent.
Yeah.
I just feel that it should be spaced out a bit better. That's all.
I like because it's the whole maximalist thing, which I'm like,
Hmm.
this takes more effort and like more
But then again,
You know-
finesse, honestly.
but
So I feel that's like a bigger task at hand than.
yeah, but then again, most maximalist stuff का runtime भी थोड़ा ज़्यादा होना चाहिए, at least to give some space.
Not necessary, that's again subjective again. But I feel
Subjective,
everything
not
everywhere again is like perfect.
You know, because it
I mean,
is
it has
so
flaws, but
maximalistic.
still it's like
Because it is blasting on. Last time I used this phrase, because it is blasting on all these cylinders. That's precisely why I think that it should actually win the best director category, and this category should go to some film that's not even over here.
That's not happening.
वो तो
Yeah.
yeah.
People are actually clamoring for Top Gun Maverick to win, which is
And
kind
I
You
of.
wouldn't be
mean
surprised if
it
And
won't
then
win?
next day you'll get one, article saying it's American military propaganda and all
But
of
it
that.
is.
oh right, right.
That too
I
it
I
is
mean,
mean,
only, no? I mean,
I
it's
mean,
yeah,
though
fine to admit it.
kind
It
of.
is. So like,
it is, but it also isn't because of the amount of effort they make to not mention
Not
Russia.
name the enemy. Yeah. And I
That
think,
I
see,
mean,
the thing
yeah.
is, the first one was definitely American military propaganda. This one
the
is playing on that
the,
nostalgia to
the
bring
first
in
one,
the audience. But I never think because it's written
Great
by
filmmaking.
Christopher McQuarrie, right?
the first
It
one was not a good movie. First and foremost.
it
No,
sucks.
it has
I never liked
nostalgic
it.
value. I mean,
I
I
to
don't know if
like
it
the
holds
first
up.
one
It has
more, I
great
think.
cultural. What?
No, that
Yeah.
that is not my case for sure.
Hey, Sanjeev, इसको निकाल दो, इसको निकाल यार.
Huh, but then we
What?
remember, no, he told his experience wasn't good, right? He was in a
Yeah.
bad cinema experience, right?
I
Yes.
mean,
Dude, I
let's say
loved it even
let's
more at
just say
home.
that. I guess that's better way to
Dhruv
put
will
it.
start meditating after this.
Okay.
No, see,
It's
Top Gun.
actually
So
re-released over here. I'm
my
actually
thing is
considering to
Top
go
Gun
watch.
is silly. This is
Okay.
serious. I don't
Okay.
think I don't think it is serious. I don't take it seriously in any case. I don't buy the whole hero worship. I think there's a lot of things it's doing which I
I don't think Top Gun Maverick is as much hero worship as you think it is. Especially considering the movies which we watch as hero worship in at least in our fucking country. Considering that, Top Gun Maverick is definitely not as hero worship as you think it is. That is
isn't
number
it
one.
basically about Tom Cruise being right about everything and him being the person who trains the people
No,
to actually do? Yeah,
no,
isn't it?
Oh, I don't. I disagree.
no, I completely disagree.
Hmm.
What is
ठीक
it
है,
about
कोई
then?
बात नहीं.
No,
It's
no,
a
I'm
take. It's a
curious
take.
though, like, because that's my memory of it at least.
It's an
It's a
interesting
bar.
take. It's an interesting take which you're coming off from the character of Tom Cruise's character from the
From the
first.
first film, yeah.
If
Yeah,
you look at
and
the first movie ka perspective, then yeah, maybe. From the second movie ka perspective, that is not true because this is a
Hmm.
guy who has grown older, but he's still stuck in the same ways,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
he's always
Yeah.
been proved at every second, at every turn, that he should be able to adapt at the very least.
Hmm.
Sure,
yeah, and
old
no,
school
but I
methods,
feel it's still about him. At least this is from whatever I remember. That is very much about him. Isn't there a point where a lot of the youngsters basically are like, oh, look, we can be whatever, we can do it our way, but it's like, no, we have to do it Mr. Cruise's way because Mr. Cruise is correct or whatever it was.
yeah, Mr. Cruz is correct, but Mr. Cruz being correct also means that Mr. Cruz also has to learn how to lead people instead of being the show off that he is.
And he's
I
correct
mean,
in what he has
Character.
always done
Yeah.
best, but not in terms of his emotional arc. And that's why he learns and he comes on good terms with that through that reconciliation, right? Through Miles
sure. I
Teller's
mean, I
character.
will rewatch it, don't worry, but I highly doubt my emotions on it are going to
Is
change
it is
much
it
because I
re-releasing in
don't
cinema now?
find the emotional
It
stuff
is
in that.
currently re-released in India, actually.
It's
Huh.
made
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
money. Of course, it'll
Hmm.
re-release.
I genuinely think Top Gun Maverick, I think we all know why it is nominated, right? It made so much money. It literally saved the
Yeah,
Hmm.
business in America.
yeah.
That's
And
not hyperbole.
in a way, it's also them subtly trying to club in this supposed hypothetical another category that they were actually going
The
to
most
go ahead
popular
with last
thingy.
year. Yeah, the popular category.
Yeah,
So in a way, this is them gradually starting to acknowledge all these
which
popular
mind you,
mass films
which
and
mind
clubbing.
you, which
Hmm.
mind you, to be very fair, if we look at history,
It had always been there, right?
yes,
Hmm.
yes, that had always
I
been
mean, Titanic, Lord of the Rings, and look at
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
yes,
I mean,
that
Avatar.
had,
We can talk about that. You guys really. I mean, Sanjeet and Aryan like it. Amartya is
I like
safe.
it just, it's
So
just
I
for
like it purely because it's in cinema on laptop. I
exasperation.
had told it the day I
I
watched
would
it.
never care. I would never care to
I would
rewatch
never
that. I
even
mean,
I
bother
watched
watching
it in
it
the
if it
cinema
was
also. Okay, it's not
anywhere
like I watched it on the
but cinema.
laptop.
IMAX में था.
सर
I have
सबसे
just
बड़ा स्क्रीन में गया था मैं ठीक है जो
Doesn't
दुबई में
matter.
था
IMAX is IMAX.
it
IMAX is
was
different.
literally double of IMAX Sanjeet.
नहीं फर्क पड़ता.
Anyways,
IMAX
it
has.
was a snore and a
I'm
half of a
joking,
film.
yaar. It's
It was
I have
totally
literally
boring. Sorry,
I
but it
have
was.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
fine.
That's my question. 3 घंटे का होने का क्या कोई
No
फायदा है?
ways it needs to
For
be
me,
that
this is
long.
the theme park thing.
Exactly.
This is that
See,
theme
for
park
Just
thing.
I
see,
would watch a Marvel movie,
Cameron's,
very honestly.
I
हाँ आप
Honest.
understand.
देखो, I'm
Oh
just
no,
saying in general.
say
Maybe
that
ये
after
मेरा
watching
मेरा
this
मेरा
Ant-Man.
interpretation.
That's fair
Marvel is
enough.
Cartoon
But
Network
yes,
right now.
yes.
Don't watch
The
Quantumania.
last hour of the film is pretty good. I would say that. Avatar.
What? I thought the middle section was the strongest, very
Same, I
simple.
agree with Aryan.
What
Middle section was the
when you
strongest for
basically
me.
go and
Yeah,
visit
theme ride,
everything?
theme park, yeah.
I
See,
thought that
the
was
thing
rubbish.
is
I
that
almost
it's
slept.
just it's
Aryan, bol
just
bol.
very fascinating for me to have a filmmaker of having a filmmaker like Cameron with his legacy to just unabashedly show on screen that this is the world that I have created in a world in a market that's fully dominated by pseudo IPs that only merely play on stupid nostalgia. Okay, to churn out money. Here's the world that
Same.
I have created. I will play it simple.
Wait,
I will set up the stakes of my story. I will set up the stake of the entire planet. The most timely thing about the environmental catastrophe that's looking right at us within the film's first 10 minutes. And then I'll expand on this world. And
There
I'll
is
Hmm.
keep the
nothing. I
story.
just don't understand what you guys are seeing because I saw the first film, the first
What?
like literally
Hmm,
that day itself. The first film.
hmm.
Hmm.
The first film has a perspective. I think this film is
Definitely.
literally like going into a pool and seeing how much you like swimming in it. And I was
Hmm.
like, firstly, the dialogues and the characters in this. I know that's not the
Oh yeah, dialogues.
priority,
Yeah.
but my good lord, they are from it. Like I have a particularly
Why
annoying.
so blue?
I mean, what's with the bitch thing or like whatever the son of the what's the one dialogue they keep on saying? I've forgotten now, but I
son of
just
a bitch.
maybe son of a bitch is the consistently thing that they keep on saying. But I just couldn't. It was a retread of the first film. I thought narratively a lot of it, and I just couldn't get with it. I was just like, there's nothing I got out of it.
But
Bonus on
that's
these
what
two,
I'm
but
say. What that's what I'm trying to say, that when you're getting retreading and remaking of the same projects that are inspired from pseudo IPs and pseudo nostalgia of the 80s and 70s, here's a filmmaker who is at the topmost craft at his game, okay, where
yeah, but
he's
he's
just
taking those
playing,
very
making his
ideas, right?
own,
Which
but
is which
it's
is
creating a different universe of his own,
I mean,
coming
it's
out of his
this.
own mind, and
Man,
which
that's
sure,
something.
that's fair
which
enough.
is a
That's fair enough. I mean, depends on how much you can buy into it. Like
which,
his universe is
Hmm.
also very like old school 80s, nine. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just like, I don't buy it. Firstly,
Kids calling and addressing their fathers. That's
I'm
so.
like it's the whole new. Like I don't want to get into the see. Avatar का
नहीं,
Yeah.
but
politics can go into the bin. I
Yeah.
don't care.
nostalgia कब लग सकता है हम लोगों के लिए, right? It's like this movie comes out in 2022. The first movie comes out in 2008. Technically speaking, this is also banking on a nostalgia of a movie that came out 20 years
I disagree. I disagree.
ago.
I think it's a wholehearted expansion of that universe, that world that we saw, that we
Okay.
got in the 2009 film. And
I
that's
too
why
didn't even
I
remember
appreciate
anything. I just went in blank, honestly.
it's like
I didn't remember anything. I
I
watched it in
rewatched
2009
actually. Yeah.
and I
What?
didn't even bother rewatching. I
Hmm.
No.
just,
Oh,
I
okay.
thought I would rewatch, but I didn't. I just went straight in, not remembering anything what the film was about.
The
Hmm.
first film
And
actually
that
has a
is
narrative thematic core, in my opinion.
my
Yeah.
point is what I mean. It's not a defense. If you don't like it, it's okay. It's you're not the only
Hmm.
person who didn't like it. There are like multiple others.
Hmm.
What I liked is what the filmmaker wanted to present, and
Hmm.
what he wanted was to put you in a seat in a dark hall, make you show this film, experience it, have fun with it, come back home, feel
And
you
what?
had 3 hours of life in a different world, and
Hmm.
that's the whole intent. And for me,
I
Exactly.
that
was
works
yes. No, no, it's fine. I was happy to come
completely.
back to my own world. I think it was
हाँ ठीक है वो आपकी
okay.
मर्जी है आपको
That is fine.
यही बोल सकते सर
I can't. Honestly, it was and there's going to be so many of
हाँ
these
it's
also now. I'm just a bit
trust
like
me I
Yeah.
understand if you don't like it there's
At
cut an
least.
nothing.
hour though. Like I know the epic thing works for some people, but it's just like, come on, man,
I
it's too
personally, I
tiring.
you telling me कि movie अगर jump भी है कोई फायदा नहीं है, तुम जाओ जाके देख के आओ, कोई issue नहीं है, movie अगर
मतलब
jump भी
it's a narratively
Arey,
at one
no,
point.
Amartya, it's a deeply misogynistic thing, don't you realize? For
I mean, it is a
filmmakers
misogyn.
to
I mean,
be.
I don't care about the honestly politics. Or if you want to go blockbuster politics and James Cameron politics, it's gonna go into a deep ditch water because
yeah.
there's
Watch True Lies then.
yeah, like but
This
best not to go there. Best,
this is a
but my intention was to do whatever Sanjeet and Aryan are saying. I wanted to be immersed in the world. I wasn't. As simple, like very simple.
IMAX में देखना चाहिए मैं तो बोल
Sir, I
Yeah,
can't watch it in a
see,
bigger screen. I am not going
Nini,
anywhere.
whatever it is, I think that's the thing with both Maverick and Avatar, the blockbuster films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't rewatch those films. I watched those like years back, like Maverick even further. I mean, the Top Gun even further before.
Yeah.
And when I'm watching a film and I'm still connecting to the characters,
Yeah.
and
Despite,
that
yeah.
emotion is affecting me, however cheaply that emotion is put
No,
through,
yeah, absolutely.
or the tools are used in the
Mhm.
cheapest possible ways of manipulation, and
Yeah.
if it's affecting me, I think it's my money's worth it
No,
at
of
the end of
course
the
it
day.
is. I agree.
I think
And
I
Maverick
agree.
uses emotional manipulation far better than maybe Avatar does.
whatever it is, I
Yeah,
cried in
I
both the
agree.
films. So
Yeah.
for
So
me,
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
it's worth it. I had like a proper that for me that was like joyride, right?
Yeah.
Like you get every emotion paid off in
Oh,
every
yeah, that's
way.
fair enough.
Like tick
Yeah.
boxes, have
No,
fun.
I also realized that maybe I've also come to the point where I'm a bit just not.
Huh.
Yes.
Done with life.
No, not done with
I
life, but
understand.
done with like maybe this brand of
Filmmaking.
Huh. I
80s
mean,
Yeah.
nostalgia
possible,
cinema.
possible
I'm just
because
like
I am kind of in this phase also. I feel I like this more than
like
the
I
others
like to
because
me what you're
Mm.
saying
of
works
how.
more in RRR. That's my
Hmm.
perspective. Like to me at
Hmm.
least, whatever you're saying, your experience you had with these films is the
Hmm.
closest I've had in a blockbuster film is with Triple R only. I think.
Huh, I even I had the same. I had it
Which
in Vikram also. So for
yeah, fair enough.
Okay, you're just giving him
No,
more
see
films to.
Vikram. I think I have been harsh on Vikram considering how much the other films which I've watched which are of a similar ilk. I don't care much
Okay.
about at all. I think that film's
I mean,
actually pretty good.
I loved Vikram. I think Vikram is much better than even Triple R for that matter. For me at
Mm.
least.
For me
You
as
know,
well.
yeah. I
No, that's fair.
so
okay,
Yeah.
who's winning?
best picture,
Everything, everywhere.
everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
easy. Yeah, easy.
और क्या जीत
Everything
लेगा सर?
everywhere all at once.
Fablemans might have had a shot, but I don't think it does anymore.
It's not
I think
winning anything, no, recently, so don't think so.
Hmm.
yeah.
It won Best
Hmm.
Director at Golden Globes, and then what did
Golden
it
Globes
win?
कहाँ matter करते हैं?
No, I
I
think
mean, isn't
BAFTA
it
and
like a
Golden
precursor?
Globes.
That way?
Golden Globes
अच्छा.
and BAFTA are like a big
No.
precursor.
Golden Globes used to be. Now they are really that
Hmm.
important anymore.
Which film do you think would come be like a close second for you guys?
I mean, my favorite out of these is Banshees, of course, but like,
Banshees, of
Definitely,
course. Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Banshees.
Hmm.
I
At
don't
one
think
point, people
Banshees
were
will
saying it might
win.
be one of the favorites, but I don't think it's
Huh,
anywhere.
but that buzz is all gone now
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
That
Mm.
buzz was there in December, nicely,
yeah.
I feel. But it's gone. But
I mean, it's too small a
okay.
film, almost. I feel. So
Oh yeah, of course.
yeah.
In
Mid-
comparison to others,
At
yeah.
this point, this 10 movie ka slot is basically like all of the other movies. Just the fact that they are nominated should be enough for
Are
me at
they
this point.
10 only or
Mm.
more than 9 this time again?
10.
This
10?
time 10. This
Mm,
time
Quota full.
quota
10.
full.
What
Okay,
up? Yeah.
we've discussed more or less every film or every nomination while also
Everything.
pointing out the kind
Everything.
of
Okay, another last
All
question.
at
हाँ बोल दे
Do
भाई
you
बोल दे
think out of the two blockbuster वाला quota, do you think उसमें से एक RRR होना चाहिए था?
हाँ
I
हाँ
तो would have had.
I feel I
Okay.
I would have preferred that over Avatar.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Over
I
Avatar,
would
yeah.
have actually
Over Avatar.
preferred
Over Avatar, yeah.
Batman.
Definitely, definitely.
I wouldn't mind Batman either because it
Yeah,
was
I
basically
would have
Batman.
actually
Yeah.
preferred Batman of all the ones which
what
have
seriously.
of all
Okay.
the ones that are there.
अच्छा हाँ अब
Hmm.
तो Maverick also. Okay.
Yes.
ठीक है okay.
अब तो Maverick also पड़ी हुई है online देखूंगा. रुको.
पड़ी
But
हुई है.
no,
Actually.
but then again, I can understand why Maverick is in this. Okay, and also
Hmm.
I think
हाँ same. Yeah.
Maverick has enough positives to actually warrant being included anyway, so it's fine. But
Hmm.
Yeah. But Elvis
Okay.
ko acha, because you said a musical biopic, right?
Musical. Yeah.
Musical biopics, typical.
Which again, also another thing. I have to say this. Even as a musical biopic, that shit is bad. Okay. If you're making a musical biopic about Elvis and you are Baz Luhrmann, I understand Baz
Okay,
Luhrmann is
Amartya, just answer me one thing. How is
okay.
it in comparison to Brahmastra?
In comparison to Brahmastra, if Brahmastra is
Oh,
gold-plated dog shit, Elvis is just dog shit. The gold plating is not there. So
So it's
That
not
basically
expensive
means
enough.
Brahmastra's better.
it's
Brahmastra is better
better.
than Alvin. Oh my god, this is how we'll sell
You
this
gave
episode.
it 3 stars. I was like I was like harsher on
I
the
though didn't even mind it in comparison, I feel, according to you guys.
Okay,
my problem
I
with
also think I won't mind it.
my problem with the movie isn't just its editing and everything. It's the music choices which baffled me.
Yeah.
It's like
Hmm.
why are you
Hi,
putting a
you're a fan of the music also, no? That like that way.
Hmm.
why are you putting a Casey Musgrave why are you putting a Casey Musgraves ka cover of all people
That's
Casey
Baz,
Musgraves?
boss. Have you seen? You've not seen Great Gatsby or what?
No, my point be Casey Musgraves, ठीक है?
That's Baz.
It's Baz,
Doja
bro.
Cat in a
What? Are
Doja
you
Cat.
serious?
Yes, in a BB2
Chalo.
he put Doja
Okay.
Cat.
Good night, guys.
Arey,
We are
one
here.
second. Last cheese. Aryan,
Uh,
why do you not like Tar?
Hmm.
Okay, so I think that it has its feet in a lot of things, where at the same time it should have just concentrated or focused on the cancel culture aspect of it, which I think was the most interesting thing.
Yeah.
I know there's a
Both Sanjeet and Amartya are desperate.
I know there's a
no, I
lot
will
of
speak
ways.
for and against both.
We are
Okay.
not desperate. We are just waiting.
Amartya, you
I
go ahead first.
I
Thank you.
acknowledge that there's a lot of takeaways to be had,
Yes.
including those very cryptic and liminal sequences, including the
There's
The random
protagonist
ghosts and
jogging
falling
shadows
walks.
in.
everywhere, by the way. Not
Yeah,
That
everywhere, but
yeah,
shadows
all those
thing,
sensory
I
shows.
don't see it, but the
there's a
ghost
ghost.
thing, like
There's
when she's
actually not a
running.
ghost, but there's a person, and I this time I noticed it. There's someone in like one shot where she gets up and someone's just like there standing, and she like
Hmm.
that's it for
Oh
like
the
yeah,
a
in
split second, and
the
then
mirror
No,
and
the room. Yeah.
makes
mirror
sense because I thought in the beginning of the film,
yeah,
when she gets to her house,
Hmm.
I see something in the background.
yeah,
And I didn't consider it as anything at all. I thought it's probably the kid. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I assumed it's a kid, and it turns out there was a kid. So I just thought, like, maybe
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what it
yeah,
was. But I
Okay.
think it makes a lot of sense, that theory,
yeah,
in many
Hmm.
ways. Not the dream part, that it's a complete dream,
yeah,
Hmm.
no,
but it's the whole thing as a ghost. One more thing that I really liked in the film was how it's trying to present its own reality as our reality,
Hmm.
which I thought was very good. And to do that, to come closer to our reality, is, I
you
think, genius move.
need
Not
inordinate
just
amount of world building. You need an inordinate amount of
exactly,
and they did it flawlessly.
and not for 1 second. For me, Kate Blanchett is Lydia Tarr. I mean, that's like
Okay.
a given because she's so bloody good. She's, I mean, it's like that kind of acting. When you see it, it's like a, how do I explain it to you? Let me think of an analogy. It's like
Microaggression.
a
Mic-
hammering of like a nail, like a huge nail on like
Hmm.
some surface, like that
Hmm.
way. It's like
That's what it felt after a point. The
in your
entire
head.
Yeah. I mean, see, the ending, I loved
Pa-
what they were trying to do with the ending.
one more
But
against thing that I would just point out.
Mhm.
One small thing was the pacing, which I feel is
Mhm.
very off,
Yeah.
and some of the sequences just felt like too stretched for no reason. I feel it could have or should have just compressed a lot of it together, which it
Mhm.
doesn't even try.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So and one the last criticism that I have about it is, it's very simple. It's not innovative in its own way. It just plays for
Interesting.
Mhm.
what has been seen rather than trying to make it more complex. It wasn't complex at all. It was very,
Thematically or structurally?
not
Visually,
thematically, just
Structure.
Okay.
structurally, as a film,
Yeah. Yeah.
like if you look at it
you
very
don't think it's
objectively.
structurally
Because I
experimental?
have the problem with the thematics here.
I
Hmm.
don't think so. It's not
Really, you
innovative
don't
at
think
all.
the ending
It's
is
I mean, there's the
a
ending, the
structural?
end
no,
credit itself
I don't think
actually
so.
at the beginning.
I feel I would have seen it somewhere. I feel that's the feeling it
Okay.
gives off.
Mhm.
Ending person nahi hai.
No, I'm okay with the ending. I just feel it's a bit overstretched with
Hmm.
like its plotting. Like some
Mhm.
stuff should have come earlier than they come. I like
Mhm.
that, but I loved the bits. Like there are some bits which I absolutely love. Like even the most basic when she returns back home and
Hmm.
she's Linda Tara, not
Mhm.
even like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
fancy Hungarian spelling or whatever that is. But
Yes.
Aryan, you were saying something. Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's the thing that I was absolutely in the film where it went when it
Mm-hmm.
changed locations at the ending, in the ending. But then the last 5 minutes, I was like, just
I didn't
end.
like the puke thing. Huh? It's very in your
Yeah,
face,
yeah.
honestly, for
So,
what the
Yeah,
film was.
I think the whole last section is narrative building. So it is done
hmm,
deliberately, very quickly,
in the face.
deliberately,
Okay.
very stereotypically almost.
Hmm.
Because it's in
Super,
itself,
very
it's
Yeah,
stereotypical. Yeah,
before
yeah.
she
representing playing
goes,
in for the play.
yeah, before she goes
Yeah.
out, don't doesn't the lawyer say that you have to relocate somewhere because we have to build you a
Hmm.
narrative?
We need to restart. Yeah,
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 Oh,
we
yeah.
need
okay.
to restart. That's the restart, I feel.
Sorry, it's that.
Mm.
It's also like the world where she is escaping. That world is already a very controlled world, controlled almost by her.
Yeah,
The world
Hmm.
she's getting out of is a world she is not actually used to.
yeah,
She might think that she's used to it, but she's actually not very used to it. So the world that she's going out is the actual reality, not the constructed reality which thought
Hmm.
is trying very hard to construct on its own. That is the actual reality which they are showing.
yeah.
So
So it's folding upon herself.
yes,
Yeah.
basically that's what I
Hmm.
think.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
hopefully we've not spoiled her though. So yes.
No,
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 no, no. I don't think so. I
we
don't
should
think so.
No,
Because there is
it's
like a
on.
lot in the film, yeah,
Yeah.
honestly. There's like so much. And it's like, again, 2 hours, 40 minutes. It's a lot,
On
honestly.
All the
my show, it's
moments are
showing
so
Considering
that
bloody
it
long.
has a release of 17th Feb March in
Best of
India.
17
luck
March,
at
that
doing well
Kapil
in
Sharma
India.
movie is coming, is all I know.
What
Which
do
I
I
want
What?
to
know?
watch.
Why do you know that?
Huh? Because it's Nandita Das.
Nandita Das, the movie is
What?
nice. Yeah, the
Yeah,
is Zuigato. Zuigato. He plays a
Nandita Das is
Zuigato.
still
yes,
making films. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting money to make it so.
We need to
Okay.
wrap
Why
up
not?
because my laptop is running out of battery.
It's
चार्जिंग पे लगाना
it's
वो नहीं
3:45 in the
लगा सकता because इंटरनेट फोन से
भाई
आ रहा
मैंने
है.
भी कुछ नहीं खाया मैंने लास्ट खाया तो दोपहर 2 बजे मेरे
सर
रात के
मैंने
साढ़े
भी नहीं
सवा
खाया कुछ,
ग्यारह
मैं कब
ग्यारह हो
से
गए
जगा हूँ. ये लोग के लिए रात हो रही है.
व्हाट टाइम इज इट फॉर यू
5 o'clock.
लवली 7
it,
बजे से बैठा हूँ यहीं पे मैं
it's
चलो
3:45 in the fucking morning.
mammoth episode what a mammoth ending to a mammoth episode I don't know what I'm saying
क्या? Oh, okay. Yeah.
okay this is the end of the episode thank you so much for listening this episode and the previous one as well if you haven't listened to the previous episode please listen to the previous episode you can follow Amartya on his Instagram page at
This all the
Amartya.
breeds narration also.
Yeah, it's like this.
नहीं नहीं, it's
Okay, and
better
you
Very
than
can
this,
lame. Yeah.
Sangeet.
It's
You
more or
can't
less
give
like
it.
this.
you can follow Aryan at Aryan Talks Film. You can follow Dhruv at Terminal Cinema. You can follow me at Pixel_Baba. We are very thankful to you if you listen to this episode. Please share it with friends.
Thankful to you.
Please rate us on Spotify and follow us on Spotify. It helps us reach out to more people. Why are you guys laughing? I don't understand.
Arey, it's not recording.
Don't tell me that.
No, it
it's
is.
very
It is.
bad
Sorry,
acting.
boss.
It's
It
very bad acting.
legitimately showed on my screen that it's not recording. I was like, what the fuck? Anyways.
Okay, khatam.